Hi, welcome to Design It with Tammy Gibbs. I'm Tammy, and today we're going to be working inside Artistle 5. We're going to go into Create Design now. We're going to go into the Fast AI Image Designer, and then we're going to go and have a look over at my personal designs. Okay, so today I'm going to be sort of answering requests for the last little bit. I do have some beginner videos, but I've been getting increasingly more and more folks that are starting off lost with my prompting because I'm starting with prompts that are already created. So I'm going to go all the way back down to the very basics and do a beginner friendly prompting session or prompting workshop. Now, I will be utilizing my AI Artist Playbooks as we move along, but I am going back to the very, very basics just so you can really, even if you're not a beginner, just me going back to the very beginning and starting with a fresh slate, bare bones, kind of like if you've never done AI before and you just come in and you have a blank box to fill in what you would say if you want to get a particular image. I'm going to be working first with a little girl just because I think that is a good place to start with a lot of the art that people are using. But we are going to start very, very basic. And then it will grow though. The prompting will I am going to show the way that we can transform using and adding the different prompts and how to build. Okay, so we're going to jump right in, so hopefully we won't be in too long of a video. Okay, so I started off, I'm just going to go right back here, and so a cute little girl. Okay, that's a very, very basic prompt. And if you are in the image designer and let's just say you just do a very basic prompt like that, a cute little girl. Okay, we're in the regular version 5 now. And I'm going to select a folder just so I don't end up with having these in, I'm going to just put it there so it's already in a folder. Okay. So we're going to generate inside that folder, and I'm going to change the name of the folder later on. But anyway, so we're in the regular version 5 designer with this one. And we're right here, create from prompt. Let's go back over here. Okay. So we didn't put anything in except for just a cute little girl. Okay, so we are getting this somewhat, and that's actually cute image. It's not bad, but for most of the purposes, this looks more like you could use this for a character, if you wanted that more claymation kind of look or this kind of style. But most of the stuff that we are doing for clip art and worksheet pages and all that kind of stuff, most of them are going to be like a watercolor or something like that. So if you just do this kind of prompt and then you go in, let's just do 4 more of the same one and see what the AI spits out, because we've not specified any particular style. So I'll be interested to see. Okay, that's exactly what I expected. So when you do not specify, see, I'm trying to get the why behind. If you don't specify, then you're going to get a mixture. It's going to guess. So this one was one way. This is a totally different look. And then we ended up with 3 photorealistic images because we did not specify to the AI what style we wanted it in. So now we're going to go back and we're going to change it around a little bit. We're going to start adding the style in. Now I'm going to move this over. This is actually one I created where I told it to do watercolor, and it's also in the Artistic Designer. This one was in the Artistic Designer, but I did not specify. It's the same prompt we just used in the regular version 5 prompt version of the artistic designer. Not the artistic, but the regular one. And so you can see the difference between those and what you get. Now, these aren't bad images. To me, they're not great images. They wouldn't be anything that I would see as super marketable images. And that's what we're trying to do in most cases. Some people just do this for fun, but most of the people I think that follow the channel are trying to make money with their products and with their images. And so that's what my context is going to be. So I want you to be able to get marketable images. So let's go back in and we're going to pull this one up and I'm going to regenerate and start from this. Okay, so I just put watercolor right there. We're going to take that away and we're still going to be working with a cute little girl. Okay. So, like I said, we have this very basic. I erase the watercolor because we're going to go back in and then we're going to start layering in to see the difference between the prompt. Now, right now, we're inside the artistic designer, so we're going to be working there to start with, and then we will probably be moving it into some different designers just to see the differences, okay? I want to be very, very clear so that you can follow me. Okay, so I'm going into my playbook, and let's just go in and see if we can decide what sort of, we're going to go into the whimsical and fun because it has a lot of the sub-styles, cartoon illustrations, playful doodle art, the whimsical fantasy creatures, children's book illustrations. We're going to go with the children's book illustration. So I'm going to copy this, okay? Now, could you find a style that you wanted to? I mean, there's a lot of different things we can do. If you don't have the playbook, you know, we could add to it this way. Before I copy this in there, we're just going to do it like this. We're going to, okay, I'll go ahead and put watercolor back in. Okay, so watercolor, and then a cute little girl. Okay, and then we're going to put in front of the watercolor, we're just going to put hand drawn. Okay, so that's going to be kind of our style. So let's look and see what that gives us. We still haven't really given it a lot to work with, so still going to get some very basic images, okay? We haven't told it how to, anything about the background. We haven't told it colors. We haven't told it there's a lot of things that are not included, which is why a lot of times when you start prompting and you don't give it enough material, you get randomized results. It's because you leave too much up to the AI as far as in its imagination. So I think what I'm going to go ahead and do, so we can kind of see side by side what they're going to do. We're going to go ahead, and this one is artistic designer, but we're going to go over here and do the create from prompt, which we also worked with a while ago. And I'm going to do the high quality because that helps. Okay, so over here you can see just with the simply adding these things, we did get, this is under artistic, and this is what we got, which is actually a very cute image. Now, if we're doing clip art, this is probably going to be a little too busy for us, okay? And this is what the difference between the very exact same prompt is in the regular AI designer, okay? So all these different designers that are inside of Artistle allow us to get different looks. Now, let's just take this same prompt and let's go into the version 4 designer and look at what it gives us. We're going to do the basic, then we're going to go in and add the artistic element to it. Okay, so the interpretations, I kind of look at these different designers as basically different artists. Like if you were walking down the boardwalk and you go to one little artist that's set up on the side and you said, draw me a little girl. You just said, draw me a little girl. They're going to take what they're, just randomly choose a style, whether it's acrylic or watercolor or, any line drawing. They're going to just draw a little girl because you didn't give them enough information to do anything specific to your needs. And that's the way all of these different designers or generators work. So like when you go from Midjourney to Artistle, you can't expect to get the exact same type of results because Midjourney, their generators or generator or whatever, is trained on a different set of information than Artistle. It doesn't mean that they don't also share and cross over in some of their training. It just means that their training is going to be different. So even though it crosses, its renditions of everything will be different. That's why within Artistle, you have all these different designers that give you different results, even inside this one platform, for the very same prompts. And that's why you, as an AI artist, have to learn the different tools, the different generators, and choose, depending on what result you want, which one of those designers you want to use. Okay, so now let's go back into the version 4, and we are going to generate this same prompt. This time we're going to choose a style over here. We're going to do the artistic style. Okay. And then we're going to see what that comes up with. Okay. So there we go. So now we have this style. Okay. 4 totally different looks. Now for me, this one is so much closer to what we could work with for doing a lot of the trending styles within like on Etsy, for imitations, for clip art, those sort of things. This is a more watercolorish look that is similar. However, a lot of things about it make this particular image a little like it needs some stuff to make it where it's a real usable image. Now that would be cute if you were just doing you wanted just a little picture, maybe for a sticker or something like that. It's cute. There's nothing wrong with it. But we don't have a lot of control about it because that was what AI came up with. So we're doing 4 of the same design generator, the artistic one, to see now what 4 new same prompt but with the same generator, and you're going to get different results because what is happening is we didn't cue it. So they're cute images, but they're not going to give you consistency because we did not give it enough of information in the beginning to give us similar enough results to do what we want to do as far as clip art. So that's what makes it really difficult, and a lot of you struggle with, is typing in these basic phrases like this without all of the supporting information that narrow it down for the AI. The more specific you are, then the more likely you're going to get consistency across your images. See, none of these they may have a similar style, but as far as the little girl goes, there's nothing that is really consistent about it. So how do you fix that? How do you go from cute little images, even when you find the designer you want to work with? And right now we're just going to work with this artistic one for now to see if I can show you how to take and get more consistent results as a beginner. Okay, So what we're going to do is we're just going to go back in. We're going to go into this one because this was kind of more the original. It should not make a difference, but sometimes it does. Okay, so we've got watercolor, hand-drawn, a cute little girl. I'm going to go in now, and now I'm going to pull out this phrasing. Okay, now, even though it looks long and these things I'm going to be working with are, it's going to make that prompt longer and seem a lot more complicated, but using the playbook, the cool thing about it is the phrasing and the words that are the word banks and phrase banks and all that stuff, the colors and everything, because they're already they're little ingredients, I say in most of my videos. So what we're doing is we're trying to bake an image rather than a cake, and we're going to be using these words and phrases and the order that they're put in order to come out with a image like we want, okay? So instead of hand-drawn, or even in addition to, we'll do in addition to, I'm going to paste that it's a children's book illustration with soft textures, an expressive character, because we only have one, hand-drawn appeal. Okay, so I don't have to do that because it's actually already included. So we'll erase one of those, okay? Okay, and we still have our little girl, okay? Now, our little girl it's not specified color of hair. It's not specified, any of that. So we're going to take a cute little girl, and then we're going to specify some things. We're going to go back in, and instead of me just typing something in, I'm going to go over here to and I am going to find let me see. Okay. I'm going to say hippie chick just because it'll be cute. Okay, so we're going to take this phrase. I'm going to pull the whole thing in, and then I'm going to edit it, okay? Okay, so wearing, and then I'm going to paste this in a hippie chick style. Flowy maxi skirt. A flowy maxi skirt. And top with bell sleeves. I'm going to erase the tie-dye print. We don't need that. Okay, so, and then we're going to go back to a cute little girl. Okay, so that's very, very basic. So we're going to say with brown hair tied up with a matching bow and wearing in a hippie chic style flowy maxi skirt and top with bell sleeves. So see, it's not really that complicated especially if you're using the playbook. Now you could sit there and you could think up all these phrases on your own, and you could but the playbooks just offer you a little shortcut, and you can mix and match them, and most of the time nobody's going to end up with the exact same combination. That's going to be your personal preference, okay? So now we have the watercolor part. So we're going to do it just like this and see what a difference it makes, okay? And then we're also going to put isolated against a white background. Just to try to, it may not eliminate all of the background stuff, but it should help, okay? So we're going to do one image here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm also going to go over, copy the whole thing. And while that's percolating, I'm going to go back over to the version 4, type this in, And we're going to customize settings and choose artistic. And just let that percolate a little bit. Okay. All right. So this gave us a little girl. All right. She's looking the other direction. So now we're going to do 4 of those. That's in under the artistic. Okay, so this is what it came up with, which is much better than the other ones that we had gotten. So this is actually a cute little figure that I could fine tune it, and this is under the version 4 artistic. But we're really trying to get more along these lines to tone it down so that we get a cute little image for cute little girls for. Okay. But you see what a difference just changing a few things did. So now we've got this really cute outfit. We've got our hair tied up in a bow, and we are beginning to get something that these could be used for clip art. Okay, so let's go with now trying to refine, because the only thing about the artistic designer is it really likes to put things not facing forward and not sometimes with their eyes open. So we have to refine. So we're going to regenerate this one. I'm going to actually try moving this to the down here and see what a difference it makes. Because if things aren't exactly the way you want them to be, then you start refining and you can move things around. Because just like with recipes for a cake, the order in which you put the ingredients in often is a direct your result, and your resulting cake is a result of that order, and how well it turns out. So let's just see if we can get them turned around. The really cool thing that I want to remind you or mention to you about learning to prompt is that it may take you a while to get to that perfect prompt. It may take 20 or 30 images. It may take moving it from one generator to another. There we go. So now we have our forward facing cute. I actually believe that it kind of turned out a little bit better moving that. Okay. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to do 4 images and just see. But you see that the consistency is so much better than these images that we did, the 4 that we did down here, that none of them were, when they weren't consistent, these 4 here. They didn't really give us that consistency we were after. Okay, so we're going to see what these turn out like. Are they going to be forward facing? Are they going to be facing backwards? Okay, so we're getting some different poses because, again, we have not mentioned anything about their positioning. So it's just basically doing the position that it wants to, however it wants to. Okay, so this one is an outlier. We've got most of it, but it's not as consistent, and this is not that unusual to have 1 out of the 4 or maybe 2 out of the 4 that are a little bit different. I feel like these 2 match, but that's why I created, and these match with all of these down here. So we could tell it, we can go in and we can specify, sorry about that. Let's go back in here. We can specify the details, like, I haven't given it specifics about the dress, what color or anything like that. And those are the other things we can refine. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go back in and we're going to say a cute little girl facing looking forward. And she has brown hair, and we're going to see how that works out. But even at that, these images, like the ones of them looking away, actually, these are actually really cool for a lot of clip art and stuff for invitations, because now a lot of them are not showing the facial features and everything. That way, if you get the hair kind of right, the little girl that the birthday is for, it kind of just makes it seem more like it's her, rather than showing a facial viewpoint and then not being able to, it not looking like her. So there's actually precedent for those type of images as well. Okay, so this one, she is not forward facing, she is side facing. Okay, so we need to refine it a little bit more. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down here and go back to the beginning. Okay, so we have watercolor hand drawn appeal. And we're going to move this part to the back, to the bottom as well. So we've got a cute little girl with brown hair tied up with a matching bow. We're going to put a period here. Then we're going to say she is wearing, and we're going to do this, a flowy maxi skirt with bell sleeves. And put it here. And then we're going to have in a hippie chick style. Okay. And then we're going to have that it's isolated against the background and all that. So again, we're playing with moving stuff around. Okay. Just to see what the effect is. Okay. And I'm going to go in and start regenerating our next one, because I want to start adding some color and direction for the like the skirt. We're going to say a flowy maxi skirt made of denim and top with a paisley pattern let's say a pink paisley pattern and bell sleeves. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to go back to this one, and we're going to go into the AI Art Illustrators and try some of my favorite settings over here just to see what we get. Whoops. Okay. That's from the watercolor. And I'm not crazy about her. I could probably do a little work on that one. But okay, so this one came out, and let's see. This was where I moved the watercolor and everything to the bottom, which I think is fine. None of that seemed to matter that I put the girl in the front. Okay. Okay. So we've still got her facing in the wrong direction. But look what we did. We were able to change and put her in a cute little blue jean skirt with a pink paisley top and the matching bow and everything. So that is super cute, just right by itself. But we want to make that girl turn around, and we want to do some things that are going to direct the AI to turn her around. Artistic is that particular one, even though it's a really, really pretty setting. Oh my goodness, it just is a bit aggravating every once in a while. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is, let me see if I can go out. Okay, I'm going to get out of that one. Okay, so we're going to come back in here, and I'm going to show you a special section that I have. It's called Generating Different Poses for Animals and People in AI Art. And so we're going to be looking for the humans, not the animals. So for people, we're going to actually sort of steal this and say sitting on a park bench, hands folded in her lap, and gazing into the distance. Okay, so we're going to try that. So we're going to go with this one because I really like her outfit. And we're going to come back here and say a cute little girl with brown hair, da 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 da. And we're just going to add this down here and say she is sitting on a park bench, hands folded in lap, gazing into the distance. Okay. And we are probably going to have to move it up, but we're going to do it there for now. Okay. I'm going to go back into the playbook, and while that is percolating, we're going to look at some of these other things. I want to look for facial type features. So we want to look for facial expressions. Here we go. All right, so facial issues, example for a happy expression. We're going to use with a warm smile, crinkled lips, gently curved, natural face symmetry, looking slightly upward. We're going to take that. Let's see what okay. So she's still not facing the way that she needs to, and things got a little scrambled up there. Okay, so first we're going to move this to the front up here. Okay. Tied up with a matching bow. She is wearing blah, 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 blah. And we're going to put it there. She is sitting on a park bench, hands folded in lap. And then we're going to take it this way, and then we're going to paste this with a warm smile, eyes. Okay. And then we're going to change this and say she has brown hair. And we're going to try that. Okay. So we got an image pretty much like we were wanting. The hands aren't right. And when we added that, and it kind of got it a little bit closer to what we're looking for, because we have moved the watercolor down so far, we need to move this back to the front, because it lost track. It's sort of a strange little dance we have to do. And I think most of you realize that most of my really good prompts, it's not that I instantaneously come up with them and they magically are just the right prompt. It's through work. there's no way that it can. Okay, so this is still giving us the photorealistic. So now we have to, oh, I'm sorry. This is the smile. So this is fine. This is what we did, but because this was when I changed it. So now we've kind of got the girl looking in the right direction and everything. We just need to transfer this and get it where it's watercolor again. So I'm hoping this one is going to be closer to that. Okay. It's a little closer. But this is a combination because this one did not have the expression built in. So now we've got to take part of this one right here, because the little girl with a warm smile, all of this looking slightly upward, we've got to blend it in. Okay, so let's see. Let's take and put this here. Okay, so cute little girl with a warm smile, natural face symmetry, looking upward. We're going to erase this part and put she has brown hair. Okay. So now we're going to try to blend the two and get back to our watercolor and back to our where we've got the forward-facing smile and everything. And this is looking upwards, and that's exactly what this does. It just, because the actual style, like the watercolor, had been buried so far in the back until it did everything else, and by the time it got to that, it just kind of fizzled out. So I'm trying to give you really good. There we go. Now see, it took us a while, but now we've got a really cute image. The only thing that I would say is a complaint for me. Now this one would probably strip out pretty easy. It's got the little trees and everything. So we would need to go back in and perhaps, work on where like this is isolated against a white background. We can move that to the bottom here. Okay. And what we can also do is warm smile, eyes slightly crinkled. Let's see. I'm going to put open with mischief, because it said crinkled, and so that is actually crinkled. So I'm hoping we can get some open eyes at this point, because this one actually interpreted it better than this one because it said eyes were crinkled. So if we can get those little eyes opened, I will be very, very pleased with that particular image. It did kind of swap out our skirt. It gave us some denim, but the skirt's not denim. But we could probably do, like with this one, we can go ahead and do 4 just to see what it looks like. Okay, so we got part of it, and I cannot see what I can't see what it did there. Let's see. Let's get back in here. I'm not sure why it did that. So we got our denim skirt back, but we ended up with something awful weird. So I'm going to remove this design because it was kind of a fluke. There we go. Okay. So this one again's cutting the head off. Not sure why. So we're going to move that one. If we remove it, then it's probably going to signal that that's not acceptable to us. Now, this one, of course, is cute. This one's cute, too. We still got the little wrinkled eyes. So let's go back and look again for different cues. And I've already said that for some reason, the artistic version generator doesn't like, for some reason, for eyes to be... let's try eyes wide with curiosity and see what that does. So we got our crinkled eyes down. Oh, there's that one. Now that one is good. That one has some open eyes. And another thing that we can do, if we're not getting the full feature of the figure, which all of these I could use. I just want some that have open eyes. So let's go back into this one and let's replace the eyes slightly crinkled with eyes open, eyes wide with curiosity. Okay. But these are very artistic-y looking and very cute. Okay, so one thing I do want to do is I want to take this whole prompt and go over into the advanced just to get an idea what it would look like. And I'm going to get rid of that. Okay, so we want to go in here and I'm going to paste this same one this one right here, I think. We're going to try it first. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go over here and paste this one in and see what our advanced does, because advanced does some really good images often. And so I try them on for size to see which one. Now see, cute. You have the eyes open and everything. Now what we can do in here is we can go in and we can, this just says watercolor. So if we want a specific watercolor, we can go back in here to the playbook and we can go to the watercolor and artistic, the watercolor and artistic clip art. So let's try this loose watercolor, or maybe simple washes and strokes, minimalist watercolor. So we want to highlight all of it, if we can get it crossed here. There we go. I'm going to copy that, and then we're going to take it and we're going to put it, okay, so we got our little girl back, but we still don't have the eyes for in artistic, or still want to be. I'm still working on that. I'll tell y'all when I figure it out. But let's go over here, and now let's work inside the advanced, because also as more of a beginner, or you're kind of in the learning stages and everything, this one is, now we've worked up into quite a big prompt here, which is fine because you saw how I did it step by step, by going in and picking and choosing which ones we wanted to based on what we want to tell it to do. But this to me is not as watercolory as I would like. So what we can do is we can exchange for just watercolor. We can start tuning in that style. Now, the artistic is already tuned in, and by default kind of gives you a lighter watercolor. This one, in advanced, you have to work a little bit harder. So we're going to just see if we can get just a little bit lighter, semi-transparent, more watercolorish look. Okay, so we've got this. I'm not crazy about her. I'm not crazy about that look at all. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that one off. Okay. We're going to choose another one. Let's choose the soft. Let's see. Let's try the wet on wet watercolor. Blended and organic with unpredictable flow. Let's try that one. I use that one a lot. So let's go in here and do that. Not a lot of variation there. So what we can do is we can semi-transparent and try it again. Now let's say we want to make, now I don't like the facial feature, so let's go back and see what I had. Okay, so let's take this out. A cute little girl, and we don't have to do the worms. We've got those weird, it's trying to do looking slightly upward. We're going to take all that out and go back to our original because we're ending up with some really odd facial expressions over here. But now she's cute. We're just trying to get a little bit different look. All right. And I'm going to be experimenting until we get the right texture and the right look of the ink and everything. Now her hands right here would need work. Okay, so got a little sideways. Now this one is actually beginning to lighten up a little bit and give us a little, so I'm going to do this again with that same setting and see maybe what we end up with. Okay. All right. So now let's try feathered edges, color bloom. Then transparent layers. Let's try the transparent overlay. Okay. So I'm going to go down here. And now I'm just layering this on just to try a whole blend of things because sometimes what you really want lies in the middle of a lot of different styles. And you just have to, like I said, keep trying it on for size. I'm going more for finish than I am the girl at this point. Not really liking that. I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it back in. And we're going to try it in the version 4 designer to see what it does. We're going to go to artistic and see what a difference that makes because we took out the facial features and everything, and we're going to try in the version 4 and see how close we get to. Okay, so it's not the same, but it's actually kind of cute. So let's try telling it that we want the little girl to be, let's add minimalist facial features. I don't like that one, so we're going to remove that one. Let's try it under, let's just try it in the artistic designer and see if we still have that same problem with it not showing the opening the eyes. Not sure what the issue with it. Be sure and leave in the comments if you've used the artistic designer and if you have had issues with it not showing the eyes open. Let me know. Let me know what you did if you ran into that problem. Okay, so this one does have a transparent overlay. I do not know what this is. That image is horrible. So, artistic. Okay, let's take this out. The wet on wet watercolor. We can leave wet on wet watercolor, blended organic. Let's see. I bet some of you actually have ended up with a solution for this already. I see her head's on backwards. Not sure what's going on with that. So I'm going to stop with that because that's not helping you. We're going to remove that design so that we're cueing it that is not what it needs to be doing. We're going to go back to this one, and then I'm going to regenerate it. And let's see what it gives us. None of this is a factor to, this is the particular designer. If you work it in another designer, then, you know, you're going to have different results. But this is not for this one image. This is for anything, whether it's be a dog or whether it be, you know, a hot air balloon or whatever. This is the process that you can go from that very, very basic, you know, add color, add style, add facial features if it's an animal or like a person. So I've slowed it down for some reason. Let me grab this one. And I'll be ready to go into the Illustrator settings because we want to try it all in those settings too. Okay, so all right, much better. I would go back in and do a little bit of, you know, more detail on how I want the face to look. For instance, I would probably like this to be, there's that same one, but okay, so it's beginning to get better. After you render a few times, then it is giving us the facial features and everything. Okay, so warm smile. This is the one with the eyes slightly crinkled and everything. So now we're going to go into the Illustrator and we're going to play around with several different ones just to see what images that it comes up with, how it renders. Okay, so that's the, okay, so that's just the straight clip art, I think it is. So now we're going to go over here to the doodle style. And then we'll do, we went to doodle style. So then we'll go to the watercolor inspired. Okay, so this is doodle style. I think we could actually work with this and play around with the facial features and everything a little bit. For instance, let's just go in and say, okay, instead of saying a cute little girl, say a beautiful little girl with a warm smile. Let's take away the crinkled eyes. And see what that does, because I do like the doodle style. I think this would be something you could work with. This one is the watercolor inspired design, and that one's kind of cute too. This one is the doodle style, and you can see where it kind of changed up a little bit and gave us just a little sweeter look. So we could play with the actual look. Okay, so we're going to go in and now we're going to do it under the minimalist. Did I snap it in time? Minimalist. Okay. Now, I like working with the minimalist because a lot of the images you see trending have more of a minimalist facial. It doesn't have the big eyes, it has the little dots. And okay, so I don't like what this is because I believe that we would need to on that one. Okay, so let's take out the smile curve, all the symmetry and stuff like that looking upward. Let's take all of that out. And let's do that. And it all depends on what you're looking for, but this will give you just an idea how the different ones render those different characters. Okay, so this did go back to the little minimalist style. So we're going to go back in here and we're actually going to go back to the table of content and we're going to go over here to this whimsical and fun. And instead we're going to do this playful doodle art instead of the book illustration to see if that changes up. Let's see, we've got this. So let's do that. And see what it does. Because I've actually gotten some really cute images under the minimalistic. Okay. Well, it's cute, but it's not what I would want. So let's do 4 of those and see what they come up with. Let's just actually take the playful doodle out, all of that out, and let it just do it based on the setting that it's supposed to be minimalist. And just see what it comes up with out of 4 images, how they look. Okay. That really didn't direct it. Like I would have thought. Okay. So I think what we need to do is hippie chick style. Okay. She is sitting on a bench. Hand-drawn appeal. Let's move this stuff down here. Oh. I forgot where I was at. Okay. We're going to shift this around a little bit on this. Okay. Well, we got a little simpler look. Brown hair tied up. Okay. Let's do rounded facial features, simple, dot eyes, smile. Those are just some basic wording cues. There we go. Now we're beginning to get more of that little really simple minimalist look. So let's cue that minimalistic watercolor back at the front. We've got the cues for the facial to get the rounded face, to get the dot eyes. And there we go. We're beginning to get there now. So we just have to keep playing with it. So now let's do 4 of those. And see what we get. Okay, so we've got our same one. We've got the rounded face, the dot eyes. So let's change it now up to she's not sitting on the bench. She doesn't have hands. She's not gazing into the distance. She's not doing any of that. Let's take those away. And let's see what it comes up with. Okay, so she's standing now. She's got her eyes closed. I don't know why I didn't tell her to close her eyes, but let's do 4 of those. Okay, while it's doing that, I'm going to go back into this one. I'm going to take all of this, copy it, and then we're going to, okay, so here we go. Now we're beginning to kind of get some really cute little images here. That one's super cute. This is super cute. All of these are cute. Okay. I love this one with the big bow. So she's really cute. So we could do her. And let me just show you. We can use the magic wand and we can say, keep this same girl, but change her clothes to a ballerina's tutu and slippers. And we can just tell it to add this to the prompt. Now you can also use the playbook and I'll show you how to do that too by using the magic wand. Like if you get really confused as a beginner and you don't know where to, like where I was just changing things around on my own, you can use that magic wand. Now see, look at this. How cute is that? Basically, it's the same as the little girl that we just did. The face is basically the same. We did it from this, which one did we do it from? From this one, and we basically changed her clothes. So she's basically the same look, but now we have a ballerina. We can take this image now, and we can do 4. The really cool thing, this has been a longer video, and it's also been one that I've really broken, I think, down, which I think in a way, maybe I hope that if you are a beginner or intermediate prompter, that you can see the progression of what it takes to get to these images and to do these things. Now, see, these are cute. I'd have to work on the little, blowing it up and seeing the hands and stuff. Like this one's cute because it doesn't show her hands. And you don't have to worry about it. This one's cute here, but I'm not sure about the hands. Again, you can prompt those things. Like, for instance, I can go in and I can say, see, it basically moved everything around that we had. And then it, like, for instance, let's go back into here and now I'll show you. Let's go down to some of the colors. This is the textures. Let's do this soft pastel textures, chalky and smooth for a playful aesthetic. Let's do that and put it in. We're going to tell it, we're going to go to the magic wand and say, apply this to the image. And then we're also going to add some color. So we're going to go back over here. And this is so you can do this until you get comfortable doing it yourself. So get you something that you think is about the way you want it, and then you can go in and use this feature to let the AI interpret where it needs to go in the prompt to get the effect you want. So we're going to go to the color palettes and go to soft candy pastels. And I'm going to do the whole thing because it may end up that it chooses one. It may come up that it's going to. Okay. We're going to generate that image. We've already kind of worked our way to that little. Okay. So it did change the colors. It gave us this little green and everything. I'm not sure that I like exactly what it did there. So we're going to do 4 of them just to see if we're going to go ahead and do 4 just to see the variations. You can't always tell with the first one. I liked the softer, I think it was a little softer, the facial features and everything before I did that editing. Okay, so these are all the little bubblegum colors. And the little greens are, we could have just picked out one, like the mint green, but this is the green. It did the green and the pink. And what we're going to do is now we're going to ask it to, okay, change the little girl's expression to a softer and cuter version. And we're just going to let it kind of give us something. Work with that facial. Not sure that it really. I think I kind of like these better. The first ones. All the way up to there. So I probably would work more with these, which were the original prompting that I did. So sometimes I'm not real crazy about. So cute little girl wearing a flowy ballerina's tutu and slippers. Okay, isolated against a white background, hand drawn appeal, rounded facial features. I am going to move this up here and see what we get by moving that around. Just refining what we're getting. And while we're waiting on that one, we're going to regenerate it. But then we're going to work with the actual tutu. So it says a flowy ballerina's tutu and slippers. And I'm going to put pink tutu. Or let's put soft pink tutu. And let's put lace tutu so that we get a little bit more texture in there. I'm not sure why that did that. I'm going to regenerate again and there. Okay, gave me a black box. Oh, and this is the little tutu it put it in. So it did, yeah, the little lace tutu. So let's change it now from pink to white lace tutu with embroidered pink roses and see what that does. So it's not good enough really to, okay, she's kind of cute. I think she's kind of cute. Now, what we can do is, let's just say we want the little girl to do something. So we find all of this, wearing flowy, da 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 da. She is at a ballet bar. Okay, so we did get some flowers around here. Okay. All right. So what we can do, we have gone from scratch, but okay, here we go. And we put her at a little ballerina bar. So that's cute. Okay. What we can do is we can say head and face should be softly proportionate to body to see if we can get like a little bit softer look. Minimal is not real soft, to be honest with you, but if you want to go that style, then there you go. Okay, so her head is not quite as big in comparison and everything. And let's just say rather than the hair tied up with a matching bow, let's just remove that and just say brown hair and see what we get. And then we'll take it and we'll put it into the, I think I'm going to take this one and put it into some of the other generators just to see the different looks that we can get. Because we still have minimalist in the actual prompt. Okay. So this gives us actually a little more mature looking little ballerina girl. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go in to the Illustrator, and I've copied it. So we're going to go into the Whimsical Fantasy, and we're going to paste that prompt. And then over in this one, I'm going to actually go back out and go back over here. And we're going to go into my personal designs, and I'm going to show you what, this is actually our whimsical fantasy. Now I can actually, like for a fairy and stuff like that, and working with the facial features and everything, I think that this would be a really cute style of watercolor. So I like that. Okay, let's take and go, before we go into the other, I'm going to take and plug her into this prompt into, let's go into this one. And then I'm going to go over here. And we're going to go back into this t-shirt design. Whoops, wrong one. Sorry. I get confused. There's two different ones. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into this one here, and we're going to just pull all of this out because we're not doing really a t-shirt. We're going to do high quality, and we're going to see what, okay. So let's restart this design. There we go. So this also gives us a little, is giving us a little different look. Okay. So what we're going to do here is we have it. We're going to have to plug it back in. So let's go back to the designs here. Let's choose another one. Let's do this one. We have to paste it back in because, okay. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that, like, the way that their arms are doing, all the little things, their facial features and everything, if it doesn't turn out exactly the way you want it, play with it. Like this one, I don't care for the way the eyes are done. So let's look at how we can change that. Simple little girl, and we're going to put hand drawn appeal somewhere else. Minimalistic hand drawn appeal. I'm going to put mixed media, watercolor, and I'm actually going to add chalk. A cute little girl with rounded facial features, simple dot eyes and smile, and high quality, and do it again. And you see you've got now her hands being out like that. I don't really care for that. Okay. So we're going to put sweet, and I don't know how this affects things sometimes because the computer really doesn't know what sweet is or anything like that. But sometimes the slightest little change will change the look of the little girl. Now this one is cute. This one was done with the watercolor style. And we can go back into it over here in the Illustrator, and then we're going to try another style. Let's try the oil painting one. Okay, so back up here. This was the t-shirt design, and it gives us kind of a quirky little thing. I'll tell you what I think this would be cute as. Let's go into here, and let's change this from a sweet little girl to a cute puppy. I've still got it dressed. Now she's got too many legs, but it's, it is an image that we could work with in the oil painting. Let's regenerate it and see if it'll get the legs right. Look at the puppy and the tutu. That one looks a little blurry, so let's do 4 of those. And remove that one. So now we have the puppy ones. I don't know why that's doing, got a little glitch where it's a little blurry. That's okay. All right, but that particular one would be kind of cute that way. Okay, so let's go back into the Illustrator. Where is the one that I was wanting to work with? There was a cute one. This one, this prompt, but we wanted to do it in a different illustration. Don't want to do impasto. We don't want to do Pixar. Let's try Mystic Fantasy. And then we'll make full circle and go back to the artistic again. Okay, she's got really big eyes. So this was done with the Mystic Fantasy. Now, I see this style right here a lot. Now, even though it said to do dot eyes, it did not do dot eyes. It did those real big eyes. But I see this for this would be cute for elves or something. So we could change it to a little girl elf. and wearing a red and green ballerina tutu and slippers. And see what we got from there. The thing is, as you're going along, you see lots of ideas of different, maybe not what you're working on right that minute, but you get ideas. So there we have an elf that we just created from that. Again, have to work on the hands. And how do I do that? Usually just go back in and one of two things. Either I try to prompt it to have it where the hands don't show, or like hands on hips or something like that, if I can't prompt it to have, the perfect hands or whatever. It did the ears really good. Okay. Well, you can still see the hands, but they look a little bit better. Let's do hands on hips. Hands on hips. And I may have to put it towards the front to get it to do it. The little outfit's super cute. The red and green tutu. Well, that's a sassy looking little elf. And she's really cute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that would work. And she's really cute. Let's do 4 of those. With Christmas coming. Because all of those elves look a little bit, they look a little different. So, and the thing about it is you can tweak it enough that, see, all of these elves, they would work in the same pack, but they are different. They don't look like the exact same elf, which is great for a clip art pack. And we'll move design. So that is kind of cute. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to, let's go to this one. And go try it in that artistic again, because we've made a few tweaks. And then I'd like to do the puppy dog and see how it turns up in the artistic, just for the fun of it. Let's see, let's do the puppy dog one. Okay. Okay, so this is what we ended up with, the minimalistic one, which I really like, except for the face here. Would still have to work with the face. Rounded features, that's fine. And if you get plain dots instead of the lines, then it would appear open. So let's move the eyes to the front. Let's see. And with created with hand-drawn appeal, rounded facial features, and simple dot eyes. We're just kind of working with it to tweak it. Dot eyes and a smile. And then I was going to do the puppy dog. So let's go back in to the designer, paste the puppy dog. So I'm not sure what that's going to look like. Okay, we've got not the dots, if we could ever get that. We've got the eyelashes and everything. And the treatment of it is very cute. Okay, now this is precious. Now we've got a winner. Artistic with that combination for the puppies is going to be a winner. Let's see if we can get more of those doggies. That is so super cute. And this is how I create. This is how I come up with my packs that are different. It's just to keep on going, moving it here, moving it there, making edits until I get something refined. How cute are those puppies? The ballerina puppies. They are precious. And you don't have to worry about their eyes. So that prompt is going to be more for the puppies. And then I can start all over for another little girl prompt that does a little bit, or tweak to get that one that was not in the ballerina. But all of these are good so far. All of these I could use. Oh my gosh, they are so adorable. Let's see if we can change the color that they're wearing. Let's see, does this say pink anywhere? Minimalistic. Da, 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 da. And I had added okay, we'll tie it up with a matching bow. Flowy ballerinas. Pink. Let's see, let's do baby blue tutu and slippers and see what that does. Let's do 4 more little puppies because those are really cute. And they all look pretty much different too. Slightly different, which is what you want in a clip art pack. You don't want 20 of the same dog. You want them to look a little different. So we could actually probably change I don't know what dog that is. It pretty much guessed what dog it put in there. But they are adorable. Oh my goodness. There we go. That's our winning clip art pack. And now that we've got that refined, now we can do other things. So let's just, probably wouldn't do a cat because cats just don't in ballerina club. I don't think in a ballerina tutu and everything would be cute, but the puppies are really cute. So we could probably change it maybe to a poodle and see how that turns out. So let's go in, let's regenerate it, and let's say a cute poodle puppy with the rounded features, but all of these would be so cute in a pack. Everything about it's cute. And if we can get a poodle, that would be cute too. Let's see, I'm trying to think what else. It already has necklaces on some of them. Oh, the poodle's not as cute. Let's do 4 of them to see if we get any that are cute. I kind of like this more simpler dog, so I would probably stay with these. I could go back in and just say a brown dog or whatever and change the color, but I really like the way that works. Yeah, those right there, they're really cute. Yeah, I'm not crazy about the poodle, but the other dogs are really super cute. They're very cute. So I think what I'll do is try with this one to change it into a bunny, like a cute bunny. Because a bunny, a lot of times it'll flatten those features. I think it's because the poodle's so fluffy. And it just doesn't really, it's not as minimalistic looking to me. So what have we learned? Okay, yes. Now see, the bunnies, perfect. The bunny would be great. Let's do 4 of those. The bunny would work for a cute little outfit. Now, is it possible? Do you think that we could probably do a similar look but change and take it out of the ballet slippers? Let's just say we want to do a soccer uniform. Do you think maybe we could do that? Let's look at this. Let's put the bunny in a. Okay, so we've got a cute bunny wearing a soccer uniform. And see what that looks like, because that's going to be the bunny. If we get the same bunny in a soccer uniform, then we have a whole nother clip art pack, or something for an invitation for okay, there's our ballerina bunnies, which are still super cute, that we had prompted. We're looking for one more ballerina. There it is. Yes, this would be a really gorgeous hand-drawn looking pack as well. Now, maybe even a teddy bear. You've got your dogs. We've got the. Okay, so all right, I have to change this up a little bit. A cute bunny with rounded facial features, simple wearing a soccer uniform. Let's see. Let's go back and look again. Okay, it says something about a bow. We don't need the bow, and we don't need the hair. The reason and I do like the hair on these others, but on this one it looks weird. So let's say the brown hair, with a matching bow. Let's remove that part of it. I was kind of wondering, and then I forgot I had prompted it to put brown hair. But it actually looks cute on the bunnies and on the dogs to have the little wisps of the brown hair. I think that would be just cute. I don't think anybody would think anything. But with the soccer uniform, and I need to probably prompt it to put a number on it in order to really look like. I like the little soccer ball. So let's go ahead and let me just go ahead and tell it to put a number on the jersey. With a soccer uniform with the number 44 on the jersey. Okay. There we go. There we go. That is definitely a style we could use. That would be a good clip art style and we can regenerate it, and let's see, isolate it against a white background, can be moved here. Okay. Just to see if we can get a little bit more of that background on. Oh, so cute. Yeah. Very, very cute, very hand painted looking, very trendy looking. So we could do the bunnies. Let's try this bunny and do a few of them and see what different variations we get of the uniform and of the bunny style. So we've got bunnies, we've got ballerina dogs, ballerina bunnies, we've got soccer. See how cute. Super cute. We could tell it to smile, like this one's kind of smiling or whatever. So all of these now are prompts that I can use over and over and over again. We've got the style down. We've got the type of drawing and all of that. Oops. Oh, they're so cute. You'd have to do different numbers, but this is just for example, so this is fine. So those are super cute. So we've got bunnies now. What else could we use with this style now that we have this prompt? Because we put a lot of work into this prompt. We want to get as much mileage out of that prompt as possible. So that's where we start doing the little changes and everything. Now, let's just say you want to leave some ground like this on some of them, but you don't want it. Then you could always take it into Human Stylizer and ask it to remove the grass, that sort of thing. That's where that comes in really handy. That artistic style really is just so cool. Okay, so one more thing, and then I'm going to go because this has drawn into another longer video. But if you're a beginner, you need to have watched it all the way through. Okay, so here we go. We have what we're doing, and then we have our subject. So cute bunny with rounded facial features. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove the bunny, and we're going to put a cute flower cart. Now, it won't have rounded facial features, but we're just going to say rounded features. Simple. We're going to remove the eyes. We're going to remove the smile. We're going to remove the uniform. And instead, we're going to say filled with lovely autumn flowers. In baskets. Okay, so it's not going to be wearing a uniform on the jersey, but it is going to be isolated against the white background. So we're just going to see, because sometimes these can transfer the style over to animate objects, and sometimes it doesn't. We have to tweak it more, but we're wanting a similar style and treatment for this flower cart. Okay, and look at that. How cool is that? So let's regenerate this one, and let's add and pumpkins. Let's do that. And then let's go back. Let's regenerate it. And then let's add with a rustic sign beside it that says flowers for sale. Okay, now we have pumpkins and flowers in a cart. And it's isolated. Gonna make really cute clip art. And can you believe all you did was kind of go back in and adapt and take away the bunny, and you've ended up getting some really cute, so flowers for sale. That's really cute. If you wanted to say, like, refine what this basket, okay, so we want a flower cart. Let's say a market style cottage core flower cart, and then see what a difference that makes. It really is an art form to be able to do this and to be able to paint and draw with words. And as you see, sometimes it just doesn't work out just the same way when an artist is working on a painting and, they just aren't happy with it. Sometimes they have to go back and they'll paint back over it. Flowers for sale. Okay, so let's try the mirror magic thing with, I'm going to go over to Google and I'm going to do flower cart. No, not Google. Sorry. I'm going to go to Pixabay. I feel better about using those two. Okay, so we want a flower cart, and we're looking for a particular style. So we're going to go to illustrations, and we're looking for like a cart that is let's just call it a vegetable stand. I think that is not even finding any really like I want. So instead, what I'm going to do is go back in, go to this, and okay. So we've got minimalist, hand-drawn appeal, a market style cottage core flower cart with a canopy similar to a vegetable stand. And let's just see if we get kind of that covered wagon kind of look stand. That's kind of what I'm after. Okay, I have another idea. Let's go down here to this, and we're going to say a cute little granny bunny wearing a house smock, and see what that comes up with. There we go. Look how cute. Now we've got our perfect little flower stand, flowers for sale. Now we've got something really cute. Now we can do 4 of those. And, we're working and building on a whole entirely different clip art pack, or, if you want to use it for, I know there's that locally homegrown baby shower invitation thing. You can adapt, this sort of thing to that sort of theme. We can even go in here. Oh, here's our granny bunny. Now I can see these being really popular too, is the granny bunny. That would be so cute. So that's a whole nother one I'm going to work on. If we wanted to turn this into a fireman, we just say wearing a fireman's uniform. And look at these cute. They're so cute. And so far, it's actually, most of the ones I've seen, it's spelled the flower is for sale. Those are so cute. So now you have all these different stands. And could we do them in, say, all pink? So we've got an autumn flowers. And we're just going to put flowers. And then we're going to say, in a pink, soft pink colors, or in soft pink colors. A cute. Oh, look. And here's our fireman bunny. So just so many different ways that you could use. And if we go all the way back to the beginning, and I really like to go back to the beginning to show you where we started and how you can prompt. We started way back. We went through a whole lot of different, trying it on like shoes. We went through a whole lot of different things, and it all goes back to these images, and even back as far as these, which I could still use all of these. I will work with these and I can still use them. But we started out with that very basic image, this one, the original watercolor one, and then we started with that very simple prompt that gave us all of these different variations here, like that. So if you work on it, I mean, just look at these cute little boys that here's my cute little girls that I did in one of the other previous videos that are so cute. And there's just so much you can do. You just have to keep at it. You just keep adding. Don't be afraid. I think a lot of people, it doesn't turn out the first couple of times that they do it, and they just don't keep on at it. So if you're not getting what you're looking for, keep doing it. I mean, you see that in all my videos, I don't know, look how pretty that is. And I squirrel so much. Sorry about that. Flowers for sale. That is gorgeous. And you see that my process is all over the place. But that's what makes it artistic, because by the time I get to these things, they're definitely mine, because I have mixed them up. I have changed the order. I have changed the colors. I have changed the subject. They're mine. Just as much as a person who sat down with a paintbrush and some paints and decided or changed the style that they wanted and all that kind of stuff. We can see it, AI doesn't always get it right. Some of the stuff that they do is, I don't like this. I don't like these. So I kept having to prompt it to get it where I liked it. And that's what it's all about. So if you're new, let me just encourage you to just play with it. The AI artist playbooks were designed for people that were struggling. I had so many people in my groups, and while I was coming up with really good images on Artistle, they were really struggling, and that's kind of how it all got started. Was I was doing a lot of answering questions and trying to show them how to do, or trying to tell them how to do things. Trying to show them how to do things. But the truth of the matter is, if you don't know how to phrase something, or it doesn't come natural to you, you struggle with it because you don't know how to tell the AI what to do. The AI artist playbooks, all of them, work together to bridge that gap so that you can just flip through and say, oh, I like this. This is whimsical. This is a creature, a whimsical creature. This is a gothic something. This is a retro something. And then it gives you all these different terms, phrases, words that you can try out, just like little ingredients. You go in, you shop around for some ingredients, and then you come back and you put them in a form for the prompt. And if it turns out great the first time, wonderful. If not, then you may take away or put back in different, order. But anyway, I'm really super excited about this, because now I have this structure that I can even change the style of it, and I can now do my flower cards and stuff. So I have all of these things that I can do for my shop. And now you know how to do them too, how to go in, how to keep working at it. Thank you so much for joining me. I never take for granted your time. I know that I do long videos, but you have to understand this is an investment of my time to help you as well. So if you can't watch them in one sitting, go back, watch part of it. If you want to follow along, lots of the people that watch mine have told me that they put them on the TV and then they follow along and they're designing as I'm designing. And that's a really cool way to do it. I mean, it is an investment if you're going to be in this business. Anytime you watch my videos and learn more techniques and how to do things quicker or whatever is an investment. It's your education for your business. So it is an investment well spent if you begin to make, if you grow your business more. So anyway, of course, my AI artist playbooks are available on Etsy and Gumroad. If you're in the EU, please go to Gumroad. I'll have all the links in the description. There is a code Summer50 right now that is available on Etsy. There is a sale going on the playbooks. If you are looking for the Junk Journal edition, it is only available on Gumroad. If you don't have Artistle and you're a beginner or someone that isn't a beginner but likes what they see about all the different generators that you can experiment with and try out, and all of them are good for different effects. I think with my videos I've probably proven that. And so if you like that but you don't have it and you would consider, I'd love for you to use my link. It's not going to cost you any more to use it. You can even use coupon codes with it. If they have an active coupon code, you can use it in conjunction with my with my affiliate link, and it still helps me out. It makes it where I can spend more energy doing these videos for you, so it does help support my channel and support me and my family. And so we really appreciate when you do that. And also, I have a free Facebook group and a free weekly newsletter that will also help support you in growing your business. And I would love for you to join those as well. All the links are in the description. And until next time, happy creating.